Hi, this is Jed Wonderly with the Utah Sports Report, and we're going to have a fun episode today. Going to be talking a fair amount about that beautiful, beautiful game on Saturday night against the Ducks, and we are also going to talk a bit about the upcoming game with the Colorado Buffaloes and Senior Day and all that kind of stuff. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
And they'll run it, Jordan! Jordan! See you later! Touchdown, Utah!
4 seconds, 3 seconds. Back to Van Dyke, deep three up. It's good! It's good!
They just need this to finish their best beam rotation of the year. And look at Ford, says get on your feet.
Okay, Utah fans, and anybody else watching this, if you didn't watch the game on Saturday and you're a college football fan, I'd highly encourage you to go back and watch that. There's, probably a lot of highlights on YouTube, as there always is. Sometimes they even have so many plays on YouTube that it's like watching the full game. If you have the Pac-12 network, they always do the fast versions in 60 minutes so that in an hour you can basically watch almost every play. And I did that. That was my third. I watched it for the third time today. I watched 2 full replays. I fast forwarded a few parts, but for the most part, I've watched it 3 times after watching it live at the stadium. What a fantastic, fantastic game. I'm going to start off with a couple of things of note. First of all, congratulations to Coach Witt. He is the all-time winningest coach at Utah with 142 wins. And what a great way to get that victory by beating the number 3 ranked team, Oregon. Fantastic way to win that, to achieve that milestone. Let's go over a few other things. I'd also like to congratulate Tavion Thomas, who broke the record for most rushing TDs in a single season. He's up to 17 now, which is, I believe, 2 past the record. So, and he's got 3 games left. So I expect him to probably get up somewhere in low to mid 20s, and I think low to mid 20s. If you got to 25, that would be 8 more over 3 games. That is absolutely doable. Now, whether he does it or not remains to be seen. He probably may only play about half a game on Friday in terms of trying to get him rested and not put too much wear and tear on his body. If he even plays at all, I could see him just going with Pledger and Mekhi Bernard, but we'll see. I know they are going to play to win. Friday is also Senior Day, which will probably also include a bunch of juniors who are going to declare for the draft, including, among others, probably Britton Covey, maybe or maybe not, just depending on a couple of other things, but that's for another video. Let's talk about a few other things relative to the Oregon game, which was a beatdown like I was hoping for. Now, I know that I said the fan in me hopes that we'd win and hopes that we'd get to 35, 38 points, and hoping we'd keep Oregon to in the 20s. The lower the better, always, for the opposition. But the realist in me thought that Oregon would probably pull it out. Now, as I was walking into the game, I sat with, my daughter and my son-in-law sat with me in the seats we have in the south end zone. And as we were walking into our seats, I told them, I said, boy, wouldn't it be great if we had a game somewhat similar to the 2015 game? And turns out we got pretty much what I wanted. Didn't score 62 points, 24 points below that. But hey, I'll take 38-7 all day long. So let's take a look at a few things real quick. Okay, we had total yards. Oregon had 294 total yards, and Utah had 386. Now, we were about 50. Let's see, we were averaging about a little over 438 coming in. So we were about 52 below our average, which I'm not a fan of. I always love to get over 400 and preferably into the mid to upper 400s, if not 500 on occasion. And we had been doing that over the last 4 or 5 games in the 450s to 480s, but not so this game. But we didn't need to. We were very, very efficient with the yards we did gain. We were with 386 and we scored 38 points. We were 10 yards per point scored. So that's pretty efficient considering Oregon at 293 yards. They had 294 yards. They were 1 point per 42 yards gained. So much more efficient at scoring. And it's great that we held them to 294 because they were actually averaging 441 and change per game. So we held them much more below their average than they did us. The other thing that I'd like to point out is, the stopping the run thing. Witt always likes to try to stop the run or slow them down considerably, especially if they're a running team and they rely on that, make them one-dimensional. And we did that in a big way. They averaged over the season 231 yards per game. They got 63 against us. That's huge. Additionally, I'll point out that over the last 2 games, they rushed for 300 yards or more each game. And so they were trending higher, and we just really shut them down. Additionally, against the conference's best run defense, we got 208 yards on 50 carries. So we had 50 carries on the run side, and we had 18 passes on the passing side. So we ran a heck of a lot more than we passed it, which led to us winning the time of possession battle as well. We were at 35 and change on time of possession, which puts them at 24 and change. So we beat them every which way, and that was a great, great thing. Really fun to see, fun to watch for us. Feel sorry for the Oregon fans. We've been on the other side of the coin against Oregon 2 years ago in the conference championship game. We were favored to win, and phew, that was ugly. So I can sympathize with them, but sure as heck like being on this side of the coin. Additionally, special teams. I'm going to give a shout out to special teams. First of all, the awesome thing on special teams is the fact that we punted twice and neither were blocked. Let's celebrate. That's awesome for us this year. Unfortunately, it's very sad that that's awesome for us this year, but it is what it is. And thankfully, our offense is good enough that we don't need to punt very often. Now, the really fun stuff, boy, if you watch this game, and this is an easy highlight to look up, and I've seen it, 10 times or more, that with 11 seconds left, Oregon punted it to Covey. And from my seats in the south end zone, I could see that play develop real easy. And I was excited from about the minute he got close to the Utah sideline to run down and return it for a touchdown. Fabulous play. So the special teams, all in all, they were 5 for 5 on extra points. They were 1 for 1 on field goals. They were we actually returned a couple of kickoffs, something that we haven't done much of all year. Covey averaged what did he average? I think 29.5 yards a return. On his 2 kickoff returns, which is great. And we also had 2 punt returns, that one for 78 yards for a touchdown. Lots of great blocking. And of course, the funny thing is that it wasn't set up for a return. It was set up to block the punt. So fantastic showing by special teams. And I'm going to let you enjoy these highlights, and then we'll get into Colorado. See you on the other side.
Couple tight ends over on that side to start the formation.
Well, 3 tight ends on the field again. It's a run on the delay. Thomas, the touchdown. And Utah strikes first.
Run away from him. Here he is. You're going to seal him with the tight end. You're going to pull the guard, and the tight end run counter to the opposite side. And Tavion Thomas takes it in.
In Salt Lake City tonight. And that one is blocked. Deflected at the line of scrimmage by Cole Bishop.
The last couple weeks, he comes from the outside, lays out, and gets hands on the football and denies Oregon.
Cigarette dangling from her mouth.
Passed away at the age of 94.
Apparently the cigarettes weren't that big a deal for her. Nice catch by Brant Keithy, the tight end.
They got those tight ends, and their play-action pass game with their run has just been really effective.
He throws, wide open man. Here's Keithy again. Chopped down well into Oregon territory. In the backfield.
Power back transfer from LSU.
Rising, walks into the end zone untouched.
3 tight ends, here they are. Watch number 80, this guy. He's going to take his man and block him all the way out of the end zone and out the tunnel.
All 3 of these running backs can be productive. Pledger's had 3 100-yard games this year. Thomas has had 4. Bernard's had 2. Here's Keithy breaking tackles. Still on his feet and finally corralled near the 20-yard line.
To break through arm tackle.
49-yard play. Here's Pledger down to the 5-yard line. Thomas the running back. Thomas the ball carrier. Thomas the scorer. Touchdown Utah.
Watch this big guy, Bam Olaseni, 6'8", 330 pounds, just devastate that side of the defense. Tavion Thomas was not even touched on his way to the end zone. Great block by the tight end, but an outstanding block by the left tackle, Olaseni. Tight end blocking on Thibodeau, Olaseni blocking on the defensive tackle, and an easy touchdown for the Utah Utes. And he knows all their names, right?
Yes.
Knows them all. That's pretty effective.
And he's going to try to return it. Long line drive punt by Snee. Covey! Highly effective punt return for a touchdown.
And a great non-block right here by number 2. He doesn't get a bad block. Covey caught that on the right numbers, took it all the way to the left sideline. Why do you call timeout there if you're Kyle Whittingham? You give this guy a chance to get his hands on the football.
On 1st and 10, Anthony Brown taken down. Junior Tafuna.
What's going on? I mean, here's Tafuna right here. He's just going to come inside. Watch the right guard, 74, just kind of whiffs. And whenever that pressure comes right up the face of the quarterback, there's just nothing you can do.
49-14 on a record-setting day for Joe Burrow and his mates. Tavion Thomas, his 3rd touchdown of the game. Tavion Thomas is on his way to shattering the single-season rushing touchdown mark.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed those. Boy, I watched that Pac-12 60 and 60 version of the Utah Oregon game this morning while I was on my bike on my trainer in my basement. And I enjoyed that for the 3rd time, and when I was done with it and it gave me the option to delete or not delete, I chose not delete because I think I might just watch that one more time. It was just so much fun, so much fun. All righty, let's talk about Colorado. Colorado is, I had a fun time with my daughter a couple years ago when we traveled to Colorado to watch that game that I think it was 2018, which after the end of that evening, we were crowned South Division champs for the first time. Now, little side note, we are, for the 3rd full season in a row. I don't count last season because it was a messed up season. We played 5 games. I think most of our conference mates played 6 or 7 games. It's not a real season. So the for the last full 3 seasons in a row, we are the South Division champs in the Pac-12, which I looked up, and no other team has done that since we've been in the Pac-12. So that's a great accomplishment. However, the first 2 times we were in the conference championship game, we lost. And that 10-3 against Washington in an absolute defensive struggle, and then the beatdown that we had against Oregon when we lost 37-15. So regardless of who we play in the game, and it could be any one of 3 teams, and I'll go over that in just a minute, but regardless of who we play, we have got to win this game so that we don't look like the outcast that can't win one, 3rd strike and you're out kind of thing. So really quick, before I get into Colorado, we'll talk about the possible opponents for the Pac-12 championship game. So first of all, if Oregon wins, they're in, period. So if they beat Oregon State, that's who we're going to play, and I'm quite confident that we can beat them. Now, I don't expect it to be 38-7 again, because there were several things that kind of went our way. We got the lucky bounce, as it were. I think there will be a few things, at least, half of those will go Oregon's way next time. It's just the way the ball bounces, again, to use that metaphor. So, but I do think we can win. I do think that our defense showed that we can contain both Anthony Brown and Travis Dye, and hopefully we'll get some of our injured cornerbacks back. They had a couple of injuries on receiver, and they complain about that, but they don't mention how paper thin, and like I said last week, tissue paper thin we are at cornerback. And we are very thin, and we're playing like all freshmen, including one that was a walk-on up until fall camp and got awarded a scholarship, Zemiah Vaughn, who played a very good game, by the way. So Oregon will be our opponent if they beat Oregon State. Now, if Oregon State wins and Washington State loses, Oregon State will be our opponent. But if Oregon State wins and Washington State wins, there will be a 3-way tie at 6-3. And since their records between each other are all 1-1, then Washington State ends up winning the North Division and will be our opponent, because against their divisional opponents, the North Division, they have a 4-1 record, whereas Oregon and Oregon State have records of 3-2 against their division. So there you have it. That's the breakdown of how each team that is still vying for the North Division could possibly advance to the conference championship game. Now, Colorado. Colorado is, as I was doing my research and my homework, Colorado is not looking that good. First of all, Jerry Rice's son, and I can't remember his name, Brendan Rice, he is out for this game. Unfortunately for them, but fortunately for us. He's quite a talent. He's a big receiver, and he's fast. He burned us a couple of times last year, even though we still ended up winning that game, thankfully. He's had 21 catches for 299 yards, but their offense has been quite anemic for the most part. And so their biggest threat at the receiver is out for this game, so that makes it all the easier for us to win. Their QB, Brandon Lewis, you have Brandon and Brendan. Brandon throwing to Brendan, except for Brendan's injured. So Brandon Lewis has an extreme, I'm not trying to diss on the guy, but he has a very low QBR, 46. So that I'm not expecting a lot from him. His completion rate for the season is 59.8%. That's not a really great completion percentage, which big part of the contribution toward that 46 QBR, among other things. The Colorado's defense gives up 418.8 yards a game. Now, it's 248 yards passing, 170.7 yards rushing. Whew. they're not good at defending the pass or the run. My guess is we're going to try to run all over them, pass a little bit just to keep them honest. And but who knows? Maybe we'll end up with 200 plus of each. I would love that. I would love 250 plus of each, actually. If they're giving up 418, the only way we don't eclipse that number is if we pull all of our starters after halftime and end up just playing all of our second and third string in the second half, and maybe that's how we don't get past the 418. But I think in any normal game where we're playing our starters for 3 quarters or more, I think we're going to probably get 450 to 500 yards or possibly more. So there's that. Now, their offense is really bad. Their offense is the 3rd worst offense in FBS. So they average 267.5 yards per game. That's 135.5 yards passing and 131.9 yards rushing. Whew, I don't even know what to say about that. I feel bad for the fans, and hopefully for their sake they have a lot of improvement over the next couple of years, but continue to lose to us. So Utah is ranked 41st overall on defense and 33rd overall on offense. I remember, a few years ago, our defense was in the top 20 and even in the top 10 in a lot of categories and overall. And, overall, because some of the categories we were in the top 3 or the top 5. So at any rate, we're not quite that high this year, but I think we've definitely shown quite a bit of improvement over the last few games. And I think even though PFF didn't grade us out very well, it was kind of average grades. We really played a solid game on defense. And here's a very interesting stat against Oregon that I didn't mention when I was talking about Oregon. We didn't miss a single tackle, not one. And I don't know when the last time that happened, but that's not normal for any team. But if we were there to make the tackle, we made the tackle. That's incredible. Anyway. So we've got their running back, Jarek Broussard, averages 4.7 yards a carry with 142 rushes and 661 yards. So not bad, but, that's also, your lead back, and he's nowhere near 1,000 yards. And, if I'd say that's pretty good when he's kind of like the focal point of your offense and teams can key on him. So, not bad for him, but also, again, when they're averaging 267 yards a game, that's it's hard for me to fathom. We're averaging 433 and change a game right now, I think. So we should dominate them more than we did Oregon, and we're going to have the hype of senior game. The senior game, which will include a number of juniors who will be coming out early and who they are. There's speculation on a lot of them, including, unfortunately, Tavion Thomas. There's also, several others. Covey wants to go out and test the waters, but he might stay depending on a couple of different things. And so we'll see exactly who, and even if they walk as a senior or whatever, that doesn't mean they're gone for sure. We'll see. But at any rate, should be fun. Hopefully we end up 8-1, which will be 2 years in a row that we're at 8-1 in conference play. And then the conference championship game a week from Friday, December 3rd at Allegiant Stadium. And that is at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Mountain time. Hope you can go. We're going to try to go, see if we can get some tickets. But the goal, obviously, is we're going to be we're 7-3. We'll be 8. We're 8-3 after the victory on Saturday. We'll be 9-3 after this, and then 10-3 after we win the conference championship game. yes, I think we're going to win the conference championship game regardless of who we play against. And I'm really hoping for an Oregon State matchup because I'd like to avenge that loss that we had. And so after that, and then after we win the Rose Bowl, which I hope like heck we do, we'll be 11-3, and hopefully that'll be a great momentum boost for next year, where we could have a lot of talent coming back, although we could lose a couple of key players, but we'll see. So anyway, that's the scoop. Please like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. I've noticed that a lot of the people who watch this video aren't subscribed. And so if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Also, really love to hear your comments. I'm looking at you and you. And who's the person behind you over there that's... I know there's somebody behind you over there that I can't tell. I don't know. Yeah, that person behind you. I'd like to hear their comments too. And yeah, tell me what you think. Are we going to beat Colorado? By how much? Point spread's like 23.5 points. I don't know if we're going to do that or not. I hope so. But again, it all depends on how long the starters stay in. And then finally, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the conference championship game. Who do you think we're going to play? And do you think we're going to win? Be realistic. If you don't think we're going to win, that's okay. I'm not going to hate on you. I'm not anyway. But I think we're going to win. I think we can beat Oregon a second time. And I definitely think we can beat either of the other two. No disrespect to them because they are good teams. It wasn't a walk in the park when we played Washington State the first time. So yeah. And then you think we can win the Rose Bowl? Obviously, once we get to that point, we'll get into a little more detail on that game, and then we can talk more specifics about how you may or may not think we're going to win. But in any case, fantastic game again last week on Saturday against Oregon, and hopefully we have a great game coming up against Colorado, and we'll be primed for the conference championship game against one of the three teams from the North who can still possibly win the North Division. In the meantime, hope you all have a great time. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and enjoy the game on Friday. And we'll see you next time on the Utah Sports Report. Go Utes!